Uh, ooh. Be a quiet day. Today.
Good morning, Dr. French.
Hi, good morning. I was looking for the person that orders ink, you know, for the print.
Darling, don't waste your time. I'm sorry, we're closing, so don't
Right.
worry.
No worries.
Right,
Thanks for letting me know.
Thanks.
Come on, Charlie boy.
You have dialed is not in service. Please check the number and try your call again. Good morning, Linda.
Hi, good morning. I was looking for the person that orders ink, you know, for the printer.
Oh, yeah.
My name's Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff.
Yeah.
I was just looking for permission, really, just to leave my my contact details and prices, if that would be okay.
If you don't mind calling in about 12 o'clock, our manager will be here and she'll take all your details.
Yeah, sure. Is she any good on email or better on the telephone?
But if you call her first and then give you all her emails.
Yeah, I'll do that. Who is it I need to ask for? Sorry.
Lynn Thompson.
Lynn, no worries. I'll put this on my notes. Thank you very much.
Come on.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye. Hi, good morning. I was looking for the person that orders ink, you know, for the printer.
Can you call back later? Maybe in 30, 40 minutes, huh?
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Welcome.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Oh.
Welcome to the EE voicemail. I'm sorry, but the person you called...
Hi, good morning. I was looking for the person that orders ink, for the printer.
Right. Sorry, she's not here yet.
Oh, thank you.
Is there a message I can take?
Yeah, is she any good on email or better on the telephone?
Yeah, what is it regarding?
Oh, sorry. My name's Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff. I was just looking to leave my contact details and prices, if that would be okay.
But if you call a bit late, I will be here about 2 o'clock. Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course. Who is it I need to ask for?
Sorry?
Who shall I ask for? Sorry.
Oh, John.
John, no worries. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
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 44753831801. Can't take your call right now. Just leave your message after the tone, and when you're done, press hash or just hang up.
Hi guys, my name's Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff. I was hoping you could give me a quick call back on the Cardiff number, 02922 402 747. Thank you very much. Hi, good morning. I was looking for the person that orders ink, for the printer.
Yeah, we only have a company and the contract with them.
Ah, it's on contract. It's like on the lease type thing, is it?
So we have a contract with them.
Yeah, I'll put this on my notes. Thank you for letting me know.
No problem.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
You have dialed is not in service. Please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
That's better. How can I help you?
Hi, good morning. I was looking for the person that orders ink, for the printer.
Yeah, we only have one printer.
Yeah. Well, my name's Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff.
Right.
Would I be allowed permission to leave my contact details and prices? Would that be okay?
Well, I tend to just pick them up on sort of Amazon, sort of third-party ones rather than
Yeah, the original ones.
original ones that might be on credit.
Yeah. What, if you don't mind me asking, just out of curiosity, what printer do you have?
So sort of multifunction.
Say MFC or DCP with a little dash and then maybe the letter. Yeah.
MSC.
It might have a little dash and the letter, maybe the letter L with 4
That's
numbers.
it, yeah. And the 8690.
Yeah, and the ones that you're buying, I don't know if this will make any sense, but are you buying the TN423s or the TN421s?
23s, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. It's only myself, and I've done this for a long time, 13 years, and I've run my own business for 5, but I've sold it for 13. And the one thing I always say to people is, I don't hassle them, badger them, pester them. I don't do the heading. is it possible just to leave you my name, Charles, and my contact details and prices? Because in my opinion, you never know if I could be of interest, but it'll be you getting in touch with me rather than me ringing up. And I mean, would that be okay?
What should I do? Give you an email or?
Yeah, it's up to you. Is email a good way of sending it across? Yeah, that's up to you. I know a lot about ink, but I type with one finger, so you know, I'll see how I get on. Oh, what's your email address? What's your email address?
Eastbrook House.
Bear with me.
EASTBR.
Brook House.
HAUSE, all one word.
Yeah.
@gmail.com.
And what was your name, mate?
Richard.
Richard. Very quickly, I know this is a long shot before you go, Richard. It is a very long shot. But you know, roughly, because with Amazon and eBay, they compete amongst themselves. I can't compete with Amazon and eBay, but I want to try and get as close as I can. Do you know roughly any idea of what they charge per box?
I might buy a box of 4 for about 53, something like that.
Yeah. It's cheap as chips, isn't it? Yeah, it's really ridiculous. Well, when you look at it, like the point of the originals, probably the full set. Yeah, I think about 400 quid, because the originals are about 110 each. The black one I think is about 80. So you're probably looking at 110, 220, 330, 80, 410 plus that. Yeah, 410 plus that, or 400 plus that. So I'll tell you what I'll do then. I'll send you an email. If anything changes your end, if anything happens at all, I also sell printers as well, Richard. So if you need any like recommendations, even if you're not a customer of mine, you can still ring me or email me. Say, right, Charles, you know, the printer's gone down. Yeah, the printer's gone down. I've tried to look for the same printer. It's been discontinued. I don't know. Another brother's coming up, and it's TN425s, and the toners on Amazon are originals. Is there anything you can do? What would you recommend? And you never know, mate. It might be a conversation that might be a different thing that I can offer that Amazon and eBay can. And it's usually down to the fact that I'm contactable. It's my own business, and I got to be honest with you, mate. It's all about service. You know, it's not even about the price for me, because I can undercut people, but it's not what I'm about. But where you are right now, it's not maybe what you're looking for, but that's not to say in the future your circumstances might change either, if that makes sense, you know. But at least you've got my email, so you can always make that move when you're ready. But I will put on the notes that you're using Amazon, so if I ever come back through the notes again, I know that obviously the situation. But anyway, I'll send you an email. I'll put my name, Charles, on it. I'll put my Cardiff contact details, my prices, and my delivery. Bearing in mind, obviously, the prices reflect, you know, online companies, Lyrico, Viking, Staples, etc., like local stationers. So my prices are really good compared to them. But compared to what you're paying in Amazon, eBay, they obviously look higher. But I don't mind that, because at the end of the day, you know, like I said, if something changes, everything changes. You know, so it's actually crazy in printer world. If you get a printer, Richard, sometimes you get a printer, mate, they're quite cheap. And when you go and buy the ink, I mean, the ink can cost more than the cost of the printer.
That's why I've kind of stuck with brothers over the years, because you can get third-party ones when you're not paying £400.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're paying 50 quid, and
yeah.
If it conks out after 3 years,
you've made the money back. But the thing for me is, I sell printers now as well. I've been limited since April, so I've been in business 5.5 years, but it's taken me a long time to get limited. But now I sell printers every day, and the interesting thing is, this printer is actually one I recommend. Is it the CDW at the end of it? Does it say CDW by any chance? Probably does. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a decent printer. But what's interesting is, like I said, if that printer, you know, like you said, if in 3 years, or I don't know how long you've had the printer, but say it goes down, the first thing you're going to do is go out and try and find it. And if you can't, I could be that next call. Instead of you searching on Amazon and eBay, you might, because you know what it's like. You make the wrong decision with a printer, and then you're left with oh my God, what's going on? You've gone from paying cheap to bloody paying through the roof. It can happen quite quickly. But I'll send it over anyway. Thank you very much for being up front. I really do appreciate it, because it helps me and you both. It's like we're not wasting each other's time. You know, we're not on the same page, but that doesn't mean to say that, you know, in the future we can't be. But I'll send it over now, mate. Thank you very much.
And you're from Cardiff, which helps.
Yeah, you know about Cardiff.
I was born in Newport.
Oh, was you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you move away from Newport then?
When I was about 3, hence my accent.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually moved to Cardiff when I was 13, but I'm originally from Huddersfield in West Yorkshire. And when I came down to Cardiff, I had to get rid of the English accent. I did the opposite of you in a way, because I had an English accent, and in Cardiff, for whatever reason, they don't particularly like the English, as you well know. And I was in year 8 of school, literally in year 8, and I had to get rid of it. Like, it was pretty. I couldn't understand it, because before I moved to Cardiff, I didn't even know Wales was a country. So I was kind of like, that's what I was saying. They used to say. Well, mate, I had to. I was trying. Well, I only told him the once. I never repeated it, but I had to tell him the once. I was like, I didn't even know Wales was a country, and that didn't go down well. But they used to say, "You're English this, you're English that, you're English the other," and really, really bad as well. But what I used to say back to them was, you're trying to bully me, or you're trying to, say whatever, but you're saying it in my language.
Yeah.
So say it in Welsh, but it was not a Welsh speaking school. So they were always like, oh, no, no. And I was like, you're still speaking English, like you're speaking my language. So I used to, luckily. No, well, they did a Welsh class. Every school does Welsh. Like I got 5 kids, they're all in different stages of schools, primary school and high school, etc., college. But every school, or they have to be seen to do Welsh. But here in Cardiff, mate, I don't know what it's probably more Welsh actually in Newport, but here in Cardiff, it's terrible. But if you go up the Caerphilly or go towards Swansea, especially down towards Swansea, go down the M4, further down the M4, and they speak more Welsh. It's ridiculous. And here in Cardiff, very rare you even hear anybody speaking Welsh. Very rare, but they've got to be seen to be doing it. So there is classes.
Oh, it's on all the road signs, isn't it?
Well, it's on all the road signs, not just the road signs. I mean, listen, you get a parking ticket here in Cardiff, mate, and honestly, you get like 5-6 pages, and half of it is in Welsh and half of it is in English. It's really confusing, But at the end of the day, they've got to be the capital city. They've got to be seen to be doing it, Probably similar to Newport. But yeah, so yeah, it's interesting. But I to be honest with you, mate, I am gutted about the pricing because it is what it is. I've been doing this job for so long that I come across people that use Amazon eBay every day. It is what it is. But I will tell you one thing. I've called people back after like a year or 2 years, and I do a lot of business with MOT garages. And about 65% of my business is garages. And I've called this guy back before, and initially he was like, "Mate, I use eBay, paying cheap prices, not interested." And I said, "Can I leave my details?" He said, "Yeah, crack on. You ain't going to get anywhere." So I called him back like 2 years later or a year later, something like that. It was quite a long time. And I called him back and I said, "Hi, mate, it's Charles." And I straight away, I said, "Listen, I know you use eBay. Has anything changed?" He's like, and this is genuinely what happened. He said, "Charles, I cannot believe it. I lost your number, lost your details. I'm having a terrible time, torrid time and everything. Everyone's doing my head in trying to get my business. I'm not using eBay because this is no reflection on what you're buying, but they said that the stuff they were getting was crap." He said, "But I couldn't get your details. You never call me back." And I said, "But I promise not to do your head in. I can't win." And then he actually became a customer, and he's been a customer ever since. So I'm not afraid of going against eBay and Amazon, but I can't compete on price. I can compete on service, and that's a completely different ball game when people are looking for cheaper prices, and that's not the type of customer I can have because I can't compete. But in saying that, if I had that attitude of, "Oh, just don't bother," I wouldn't even have a business today. I've got to do the calls, Richard. I've got to do the emails. Somebody somewhere at some point is going to go, "Do you know what I mean? Something's changed." Like you said then, "Oh, I use the TN423s." Now imagine if you said TN421 standard yield. You're like, "Oh, Charles, I pay like bloody 20 quid for the black one." I'll be like, "Well, hang on, the 423s do triple the pages." "Oh, did they? I didn't know that." And effectively, mate, you're paying 20 quid a box, you're paying 60. My price is 40. "Oh, what? I didn't know. What do you mean 40? That's double 20. Yeah, but it's the page count. It's the page yield. Those numbers actually mean something. So that's when the service and the kind of knowledge and experience comes into play. And I'm a proper nerd as well. I know my stuff when it comes to printers, mate. Honestly, I got 5 kids. I can't remember the dates of birth, Richard, but as soon as you said MFC, I was like, yeah, -L, 886, like CDW. Do you know what I mean? I know my stuff. But I'll leave you to it, mate. I'll send this over. Like I said, keep me on file. If anything changes, let me be the first to know. We'll see if we can bang heads in the future, Richard.
All right, then, Charles.
Lovely speaking to you as well. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. Ciao, mate.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. What the fuck, bro? Fuck. Fuck. Fuck a duck. Hi Stevie, I ain't got a clue to be honest with you. I haven't done anything. I looked up and it was just a loading sign again. Just pop up when you're free. There's no particular rush. The Xboxes can be connected wirelessly, so when the kids come over later after school, it's all good because there's only 2 of them on the Xboxes and Nico's on the iPad, so I don't even need the telly really that I'm on YouTube. It's just quiet. I play YouTube music when in between calls. So apart from that, to be honest, it's not like a massive urgency. But yeah, just pop up when you're ready. When you have your next fag, the 11th time today, bro. What? Hasn't you copied the thing, bro?
Hello.
I don't know what's going on.
You chuck this on top of it.
What? Not even mine.
Exactly. Everything here looks fine.
Do you want it back though?
She probably will.
Eh?
She probably will, yeah.
Do you even know it's gone missing? I've had
What?
it for 3 minutes. I really enjoy watching you wing it. That's weird. Why did you put it on your Netflix? You like your Netflix? Ding! Oh look, I fixed it. You don't fix fucking YouTube, do you?
TV.
Oh, I've only just found out it's my TV.
Just said it's connected, didn't it?
I don't see I don't think it resets, so do it.
Have my lunch, Charles.
Huh?
Trying to have my lunch.
We have it.
I'm sorry, perhaps. Not fucking cut the lettuce and then tomato, I think, before I do it.
What kitchen do you use?
I
Don't
don't
tell
know,
me
she's
you-
a plate in my office.
I was gonna say, don't go in that fucking kitchen. That kitchen is nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, she's playing my office, probably annoys people that don't care.
What annoys people?
That probably the fact that he's playing my office. No chance. No, say magic touch.
Take one visit from you having a flag off my list.
There's only one on there.
Let me see, you'd love this. Look at this. This is what I play between calls. And I found that basically there's something called Good Life Radio. And it's got all dance music and everything like that. It's live. But then when I started recording songs, the same songs, for whatever reason, it must have recommended it from Good Life Radio. And what happens is people upload these videos. They're weird. It's just fuck. They're like 12-minute videos. to see all these videos. See, that's Good Life Radio, yeah.
Okay.
So I used to watch that, and I've listened to that for like a year,
Yes.
and then yeah, so then I'll put it on. No, you've got to put it on where it's music, because that just says words.
Yeah.
So you relaxing music. I don't want that. I want this one. But look, it streamed 8 hours ago, 29,000 views. Some of them have like 2 million. It sounds loud, but I've always had it on 15. I've had it on 15 for like 2 years. It always sounds loud though.
It's good.
When somebody comes in. Yeah, and then, but look, you're not listening, right?
I am.
Don't participate in this conversation. This is not a fucking two-way conversation,
I
right?
need to go because I need to eat
Look,
my customers
I'm
at the
saying,
hospital.
look, could give you some holiday tips, isn't it? What are you doing? I hope Palmer's all right.
No, Paula's not really sure, I think.
Tell Tracy I'll be in tomorrow.
people see in business asking for advice as a weakness, and it's not. Really, it's a strength. If you have the strength to be able to ask that question, then I don't think anyone judges you for not knowing something.
Sage members like Joanne never feel held back with our helpful business tools and advice from real experts. Sage, helping business flow.
Come on. Hi, good afternoon. I was just looking for the person that orders ink, you know, for the printer.
Yeah, that'll be me.
Well, very quickly, my name's Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff. I was just looking for permission, really, just to leave my my contact details and prices, if that would be okay.
Can you email them over?
Yeah, sure. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we don't need ink at the moment because we've got our order stuff.
Oh, no. It's only to ask initially if I can leave my details. I've been doing this 13 years. It's very rare that somebody says, "Oh my God, you called at exactly the right moment." It very rarely happens. It does actually happen, but very, very rarely. It's usually the other way around. It's usually, "Oh my God, if only you'd called yesterday," you know. But yeah, what's the best email address? And I'll get something across.
Ray service station.
Oh, bear with me, sorry. I know a lot about ink, but I only type with one finger. Hang on. So it's LODWAY and then service station? Yeah.
At gmail.com.
Oh, bear with me. At gmail.com. And very, very quickly, I know it's a bit of a long shot, but do you know the name of one of the printers? Because I could get across some prices if you know the model.
Yeah, we have a brother.
Oh, perfect. Do you know, is it like a print only or is it like a scan copy?
It's a scan copy, so yeah.
Does it do color or does it just do black and white?
This one uses black and white.
Does it say something like MFC or DCP with a little dash and the letter L with 4 numbers after it? Does that mean anything?
This is L253 ODW.
Oh, what was the first bit? DCP.
DCP, yeah. L253.
Perfect. And the toner that you're buying from, I don't know if this will mean anything, but are you buying the TN2420 or the TN2410? Does that mean anything?
Not sure.
Does that make sense? No, it's fine. So basically there's 2 different toners. There's like a standard yield toner and a high capacity. The high capacity, yeah, okay. But I'll tell you what, in the quote, I only supply high capacity anyway, if that helps. But in the quote, I'll quote for the toner and I'll quote, do you know much about the drum? Do you know the drum needs to be replaced every so often? Do you know much about that? Maybe?
Yeah, they stop working, don't they?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I'll quote for the drum, yeah. So basically, you've got to change the drum every 4 toners. But it's every 4 high capacity, but it'll make more sense on the email. I'll send it over. What was your name, by the way?
Laura.
How do you spell it?
Laura.
Oh, Laura. Oh, sorry. I thought I had something else. It started with L, but I wasn't sure what the rest was. But now you said Laura, it makes more sense. I'm going to send you an email. I'll put my name, Charles, on it. I'll put my company details, my prices, and my delivery charge. But one thing I do want to stress, no matter what happens, Laura, once you've got my details, I promise not to do your heading.
Okay.
You know, so if there is any interest, that's brilliant. But you don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to like hassle, badger, pest. I run my own company, and I only do business with people who kind of get back in touch themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'll send this over. Do you know of any other printers, like for the gas analyzer, brake test, and emissions? Do you use anything else, or is it just this one as the main one?
This is the one in the office. The other one.
You don't know the models at all.
The little one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do is, how about this? Why don't I send you an email with the prices for the brother, toner and drum and everything else? And if you do need any other pricing or anything that comes out, you can just say, right, Charles, we've got a HP, blah, 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 or an Epson, you know, what's your price on this? And you can just come back to me when you're ready. Would that be okay? Yeah. Yeah, there's no rush. I'll send it over now. I'll leave my name, Charles, on the email, but thank you very much for letting me send it. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers, Laura. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Hi, good afternoon. I was just looking for Sharon.
Sharon, she's not in today, I'm afraid. She doesn't work Wednesdays.
Oh, I didn't have that on my notes actually. I did call on the off chance because I've got on my notes that she only works 9 till 11. Is that?
Well, she only comes in part time, just do things like wages and just do a few accounts.
So it's as and when.
So, yeah, usually Monday morning is the best time to catch her. She usually comes in on Monday to sort of, do all the paperwork, catch up a bit before.
Yeah. This isn't Kevin by any chance, is it?
It is, yeah.
Oh, hi Kevin. We've never spoken before, but my name's Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff.
Right.
And I called quite a while back. I've actually called a couple of times over the years. I've run my business for 5 years, and I called quite a few years ago, and a couple of years ago, and I spoke with Sharon twice, and she gave me permission to pop an email through. That's why I asked if you were Kevin, because the email was kevin@hillsidemotorcompany.co.uk. And very simply, I called up and I asked for permission to leave my name, Charles, company details, and asked if I could leave some prices for ink. So Sharon gave me the name of an Oki printer, said it was fine to quote. First time was in 2018. Second time was October. It was interestingly, it was Monday, the 26th of October, 2020, which was actually 2 years ago to the day. Which is a bit weird because I've called people I haven't spoken to for 6 months, 3 years, etc.
Genuine cartridges?
Well, this is where it's interesting because I've been doing this for 13 years, and when I set up my business, I made a conscious decision not to supply the originals, and the main reason being, when I set up my business, I didn't have any customers. I only had experience of selling ink. I didn't have any customers. So basically, selling originals, there's, as you probably know, the winner out of that isn't the customer, it's the manufacturer, Brother, HP, Kyocera, Xerox, etc. The problem with non-originals, as you may well know, because you've already mentioned it about originals, the problem with non-originals is it's a minefield. So a lot of times people, they go down the route of non-originals, they have a bad experience, they go back with a tail between their legs, back to originals and vow not to use them again. The problem with originals, the cost is so high that it kind of begs the question, is it worth looking at alternatives? So the way I've built my business is I don't ring people up, Kevin, and try and say, well, mine are cheaper. I'm looking to beat your prices. I want to undercut your competitors, whatever. My issue is this, with running a business. It sounds wishy-washy, but it's served me very well. I look for relationships. And the reason I do that is because I'm now a limited company. I supply printers as well. So I supply printers every day. I recommend them, supply them, etc. And what I do is I try and tailor the situation. So if, for example, you say, right, Charles, we've had an issue with the toner. I'll say, what was the issue? Well, it bled across the page. Okay, well, with the Oki printer, the B401, that's the one that Sharon asked me to quote for example, it takes a drum. And sometimes, Kevin, the customer goes, what's a drum? And I say, oh, well, you need to change the drum because the drum stores all the waste from the cartridges. And if you're not aware of it, what happens is you change over the toner starts leaking everywhere, or the toner print's really faint, or something happens, and you're like, oh, it's obviously the toner because it's non-original, because obviously that's where the finger pointing starts, which is fair enough. But then with me, my knowledge and experience comes to the fore, because then I'll turn around and say, well, have you changed the drum? And when you say what's a drum, I'll explain. I'll say, right, there's the part code. It runs for 25,000 prints. You have to change it over every 10 toners, etc., etc. So the way I've run my business and stayed in business is not because I'm ringing people up saying I can save the money. It's because I'm ringing people up saying, listen, I've got so much wealth of knowledge and experience. I've got 5 kids, Kevin. I can't remember the dates of birth, but you tell me a printer model, I'll know the toner code, I'll know the page yield, I'll know the price, I know everything. And also, I don't do any sales talk anymore. I used to when I wasn't a business owner. But lately, I'm a limited company. I haven't got time for hassling people, giving them basically, I'll do buy 3, get this free. I don't do that. I say, here I am. My name's Charles. I'm from Cardiff. If you need me, ring me, email me. I'll be there for you. But in this day and age, if I'm being honest with you, my way of doing it, which is kind of like backwards in a way, it's a bit old-fashioned. Honestly, Kevin, I'm actually doing quite well for myself. But I've got to get through these calls first, if that makes sense. I can't just send emails and be like, hi Sharon, hi Kevin, here's the prices, because you're just going to look at the email and be like, yeah, we're not interested. Whereas if I've got to make these calls to try and say, is it okay to send the email? And also on top of, is it okay? What's the current situation? What's your gas analyzer printer? What's your emissions? What's your brake tester? What's your situation in the office? Because you might say, Charles, we've got a colour printer, we absolutely hate it, we want to throw it against the wall. What's your recommendation? So the conversation kind of, it goes from my knowledge. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of like.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But we get bombarded, you can imagine.
Oh, mate, I can only. I do as well.
Time, we don't even open them. We just did them.
Yeah, it's crazy. I get that as well, mate. Honestly, I get so many spam emails that it's got to a point now when I ring people up and ask them if I can, quote, send an email. People are shocked that I'm asking. That's the level of. People just expect to be bombarded with emails. I think it's ridiculous. Your email address should be private. And nowadays, with all due respect, you get so much spam, not just spam as well. Let's be honest with each other, Kevin. There's a lot of emails that are fraud emails. I get Netflix. I got kids with Netflix subscriptions. Netflix send me an email saying it's not done. I want to click on the link and fix it for them because they're going to do my head in when I get back home. And it's not from Netflix; it's from a spam. They're trying to scam me or something. So, it's not just that. Let me ask you a question then. With the Oki printer, do you still have it?
We've got a different Oki.
Do you know the model?
It's D432.
Perfect. I know that one very, very well. I'll explain why. Specsavers opticians use it in their test rooms. No, they use it on their shop floor. I've got my foot over the number of Specsavers, and every single Specsavers in the UK, 800 of them, they still have the B432. You can actually still buy it. It's a workhorse, in my opinion. It's a brilliant, brilliant printer. Are you getting the 3K toner, the 7K toner, or the 12K toner? Do you know which one you're getting?
I got, because when I buy them, I usually buy 2 or 3 at a time, so I keep them to run out. The one I got, I've got before, I think I've got.
Go on.
Is it Cartridge Save?
Yeah, Cartridge Save. So I'm actually on Cartridge Save right now. I actually use them for price matching. I think they're a brilliant website. I don't have a website because I want a website as good as theirs. So if I don't have their website, I don't want a website. It's brilliant. I'm on there like every day. It's the first one I open up. I think they're in my opinion anyway, I think they're the benchmark. So the toner code, does it end in 102, 106 or 111?
106.
Perfect. So you're getting the 106 for 92.90. Well, that's how much it is today. It differs sometimes when you go on there.
I don't think we paid as much as that.
Oh, it may have gone up since. Basically, they've got a price feed on the website, so it fluctuates like I'm on it every day.
Yeah, whether or not they do, but the more you buy, you get a discount. Buy more, I don't know. But
yeah.
I don't think I paid that much for one single. I don't have any copy of an invoice near me.
It's always been around that price, though, if I'm going to be honest with you. And the reason being is I always try and price my non-originals for about half the cost of the originals. So I price my non-original for 50, and I've priced that for 5.5 years. I've actually not had to increase it. They price theirs for 51.10, but I know for a fact that they used to charge about 40. They've obviously gone up by 11.10. There is another toner as well, which is a 12K. I don't know if you know much about that one. That obviously does more print. But what about the drum as well? So I put.
For the drum, like I say, I have replaced drums in the past. Like I say, after so many toners.
Correct. Yeah, three toners roughly. Three.
Yeah, roughly about 3. You put a drum in.
Correct.
But the drum, I've always had original drums.
Yeah.
But are yours original or not?
No. I got to be honest with you. Like I said right at the beginning of the call, it's a bit of a difficult question to answer, but I'm going to be honest with you. I would really hope. I've been doing it 5 years. I've never sold one original, and I want to continue that, even though I'm now selling printers. So, for example, if you said, right, Charles, the Oki B432 has gone down, what would you recommend? And I'd be like, well, buy another one because they're still available. But I sell the printers. I make like a 10 on the printer, if anything. But the point is, I have trust and I have faith in my wholesalers. Now, it's not all plain sailing. It's not sunshine and rainbows. It's not the most perfect situation with non-original toners. There's no point anybody's to tell you any different. It's not. But in saying that, obviously you can save a substantial amount of money if you're looking for savings. But the problem with looking for savings is you know as well as I do, you start to cut costs in certain areas, it starts to potentially suffer in other areas. So what I look for is the quality of print. So when you're printing in black and white, obviously it's not color, but when you're printing, I look for density, not faintness. And what I mean by that is, it's clearly there for the customer to see if you're printing out things for the customer. Your staff, your customers wouldn't even know what's in the printer. They wouldn't have a clue. Sharon wouldn't even have a clue. Nobody knows because it's this similar to the original. So that's what I look for, number one. Number two is the page count. So I look for similar page count because yours does 7,000 prints. Now imagine if you buy non-original and it does, 3,000, you'll be like, Charles, it feels like it only lasts half the time. So that's another bugbear for me is quality, and it's the page count. And then the third thing, to be honest with you, is just it's all about the price. So for me, the price is not the be all and end all, Kevin. It's like an afterthought, really. It's like, right, well, if they work and they're 50 quid, jobs are good in. But if they don't work, then you'll be back onto the original.
It's like all things. It's like our car parts we buy. You can go out and buy genuine parts all day long, but there's this good aftermarket parts.
100%. And there's bad aftermarket parts.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not all about cost because, like I say, there's a lot of crap Chinese stuff that comes through and is no good for us. But so we've used Cartridge Save now for quite a few years. Never had a problem with their product. They've been okay. However, like I say, we're always open to options. But I think the best thing to do, you've got my email.
I've got your email. That was the reason for the call, to ask if I could quote again. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
And like I say, I know I've got two here because I've got one in my hand, the other one is in the cupboard here, but because I always like to keep a couple spares just in case obviously it runs low. So drop me an email, like I say, and then we can go from there. Do you have anything like a business card or anything?
No. So basically on the email, bottom left hand corner is my name, Charles Stead. The company is called Stead Office Supplies. It's SOS for short. So I changed it last year because I wanted to be called SOS basically because people need ink and printers or whatever. They think of me quicker, if that makes sense. My Cardiff number's there. My mobile number's there. I'm also on WhatsApp Business. I do a lot of text on there. Like 65% of my business is garages. I did the stats last year. So I don't know about this year, but it's probably going to be the same. So I know a lot of my business is through garages because, like I said to you right at the beginning, from day one of my business, I didn't have anything. And if it wasn't for the garages industry, I had an Excel spreadsheet of 20,000. And if it wasn't for running through these calls and doing the quotes and getting people to say, I'll give you a go, Charles, that's how I started the business. So I'm very loyal to that sector of MOT garages. I always will be.
What's the delivery? Is it
Yeah, so delivery is really interesting with delivery because obviously I know Catch Save is free and I know a lot of sites are free, but in my opinion, and I've done this for 13 years, I've always done a fiver. Now, delivery costs have gone up. Royal Mail, obviously the strikes and everything has gone a bit nuts on that, but they have increased their prices. DPD, FedEx, Interlink, I think Interlink is still there. But the point is, even though the costs have gone up, it's always a fiver. Now, of course, free is fantastic, but the problem with free is, as you know, it's factored into the cost. So when you're buying 2 or 3 of an item, you know, if they're putting, which obviously they'll be putting a couple of quid or maybe even up to a fiver on each item, then you're technically, people don't understand this, obviously most people, but you know, you're getting it for free. But the other side of things is technically you could be getting 3 times the delivery charge because they've put a fiver on each item.
Yeah,
so with me, it's like there's the cost of the item. The delivery is a fiver. If you order 1 toner, it's a fiver. If you order 4 toners and a drum, it's a fiver. But every step along the way, Kevin, my customers or people who want to use me or whatever, we always know where we stand. Now, it may not be we can bang head straight away, like you said, you've got stock. But in my opinion, that's a good thing. I haven't called you guys for 2 years, and I called you 2 years before that. I'm clearly not in a massive rush trying to pressure people, and because if I was, I'd be on the blow. You've seen all these people on the phones and emails. You know, they're on the blower all the time. They're constantly sending you emails. For me, it's just about catching you at the right time, which is not impossible, but at least I'll give it a go. You know, and that's the reason for the call, really.
Drop us an email then, Charles.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it straight away. Thank you.
And like I'll stick it on Sharon's. I'll stick it on Sharon's board. And like I say, we'll see where we go from there.
There's no rush at all. My suggestion is this: if you were going to give me a go, use one. Just use one. If it fits and it works and you're happy with it and you're like, right, Charles, we've been using it a week or 2, then you'll be flying. You'll be confident. But if you're a bit apprehensive, my suggestion: don't order 2, don't order a drum, whatever. Just order 1 toner. See how you get on. Give me a shout in 3 or 4 months whenever you're ready next. All right. I'll send it over now. But thank you very much for your time. And I don't know if Sharon would remember me, but she might do. But thank you, and I'll send it over now, Kevin. You have a lovely day as well. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Cheers, mate. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
afternoon, Information Services.
Hi, good afternoon. Is that Sue?
Speaking.
Hi, Sue. You might remember me. Very quickly, my name is Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff.
Oh, the
Yeah, that's not a bad memory. We last spoke, bloody hell. We last spoke on the 20th of June, 2019.
Yeah, years ago.
3.5 years ago. What the hell's going on?
Oh,
That's nuts, isn't it?
yeah.
I promise not to do your head in.
No, I understand. It's only the fact that what it is, we're not really open that much anymore. Anyway.
Yeah.
We don't use a lot of things anymore. So it wouldn't be worth my while actually purchasing off you, please.
No.
No. I really appreciate your phone call and everything.
I appreciate you remembering me. And what I'll do is I'll put on my notes, not interested, low user, which basically means the reason why. But I actually appreciate you being, but I appreciate you being upfront with me, because a lot of people will be like, yeah, send it over. I'll have a look when I'm ready, etc., etc. And then I'll call a year or two later and they'll be like, yeah, send it over again. Do you know what I mean? So people like you who are basically saying, right, do you know what? Let's knock on the head. I don't think it might be a good fit. I appreciate it, genuinely.
How is business? Is it all right?
Do you know what? I became limited in April. I've been in business 5.5 years, and in Sunlink 13.5 years. And it's genuinely, it's actually going really well. Personal, I've got 5 kids. I've got a lot of things going on in the background, like going through a bit of tough times. But business-wise, I will be upfront. I always complain, but I got absolutely no complaints. Like genuinely, I'm doing really well. I'm selling printers all the time. Like I'm selling printers every day now. I sold 2 printers Monday. Yesterday, a customer was in Curry's, and if mine was about the same price, and if it was a bit cheaper, she might have just gone out of Curry's and bought it from me, which, you know, I was telling her to buy it. She's there and then, you know. And then another company I called up on Monday. I called an architect company, and they had a 45-minute conversation about printer, because they were looking to change a photocopier. It's very, very tricky to buy like a big copier, you know, because it's usually on contract. And I really, honestly, I went into it. So I went into the height, the width, the depth, what they're looking for, etc. It was a really good conversation, one of the best ones I've had all year. But the printer was about £1,500, but they were A3. It's an architect, so it's like a different world, you know, for printers. And it's like £1,500, which is actually quite cheap for what I was trying to recommend. I'd only make like 100 quid on it, so it wasn't all that. It was just like I was trying to get the best for them, if that makes sense. And the toners, I was trying to do the page yield of the toners and trying to match it up with what they currently got. Anyway, I come off the call and I actually said to the person, like, even if you don't come back to me, I've really enjoyed the call. Thank you for the chance to quote, and then, you know, hopefully speak to you. But if not, no problem. And they called me up yesterday. I think they're going to buy it next month, but they called me up and they were like, "Oh, do you do payment plans?" Where I said, "Listen, it's only myself. You know, I run my own business. They're saying about cash flow. I said I got the same issue myself. I said it's got to be upfront because I got to pay for it. I don't get credit. You know, I get it's 40, you know, it's £1,400. I got to pay for it, and then also I got to pay for it plus the VAT as well. You know, so it's 1,800 or whatever, 1,700. But do you know what? In answer to your question, genuinely, I really enjoy what I do. It's weird, but I enjoy it. Yeah, and speaking to people like you, it's interesting because a lot of salespeople, I'm not a salesperson anymore. Obviously, I used to be for a very long time, but now I'm a business owner, so I look at it from a different angle. But speaking to people like you, it's really interesting because I respect it more than people saying, because I get this so many times. Oh, send me an email, Charles. I'm a bit busy. Send it over. I'll come back to you, and then I'll come across your details like 2 years later. And I'll say, "Hi, Sue, Charles. Oh, hi, Charles. I do remember you. Yeah. Tell you what, send it over." Etc. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's interesting how you've gone down the, you know, you've actually been upfront and been like, "Listen, Charles, it's not actually worth my while, you know, whatever." But I actually appreciate it, honestly. I really do. Thank you. Yeah. And listen, you have a lovely day, and everything. And like I said, I appreciate you remembering me. It actually means something when I keep making calls and everything. You know, the fact that you remembered me, it kind of keeps, you know, my head on my shoulders that I'm doing the right thing, if that makes sense. You know? I do remember. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, to that. Well, I quoted you. It's funny actually, because I quoted you. I was looking when the phone was ringing, and I called you up on the 8th of August 2017, which was like 6 months after I started. Yeah. So I called you up August 2017. Then it was March 2018, which was like 7 months later. At that point, I felt like I was hassling you. So then I left it for a year and 3 months, so about 50 months. It was June 2019. Then I called in October 2020, which was about a year and a half after I spoke to you, but you weren't there, so they said to pop an email. And then I didn't call last year, and then I've obviously now, well, it's 2 years since I called last, but the last time I called, I didn't even speak to you, so it's actually been 3.5 years since we spoke. But I've kept on. I've got to keep going, haven't I, Stu? You know? no one's going to hand it to me on a plate, you know.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, it's scary that it's 3.5 years ago.
It's for me, yeah, for me it's a bit weird. I spoke to a guy in 2017, a garage, and he said he'd overstocked, and he said, let me take your details down, I'll put it in the pad, and he said, I'll call you when I need you. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Like, carried on, you know, the calls and everything. And he called me in January 21, and he said, hiya Charles, it's such and such, I think Rob his name is, and he said, do you remember me and everything? And I said, oh, do you know what? I said, I have a feeling I do. And he said, oh, I bought loads of stock. I said, yeah, I give you my details in 2017, didn't I, when I set up my business? He said, yeah. He said, guess what? Now the time's come to order some ink. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, I don't want an order of 10. I don't want you to overstock again, because otherwise you'll be in the same position you were before. I said, how many do you need? He said, I only need a couple. I said, happy days.
Yeah, exactly. If everybody did that, then that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but then I wouldn't stand out.
Oh, no, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? So if everyone acted like me, or if I acted like everyone else, it wouldn't do well. The fact that I act, in my opinion, opposite, I'm old-fashioned, I go in the opposite way of what everyone else is doing, it's served me, in my opinion, it's actually served me really well. You know, it's all about, in my opinion, it's all about service. So,
Of course it is.
you know, it's relationship building. But anyway, listen, I'll leave it to it. Really enjoy speaking to you, and you have a lovely day as well. Thank you.
And you take care.
Sweet a bit. Ta-ra, Sue.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Hi, is that Matt? Hey, is that Matt? Hi, Matt. You might remember me. I'm not sure. My name's Charles. I run my own company based in Cardiff. I called you up quite a while back, and you allowed me to pop you an email to mtr83@hotmail.com. And I called up and I asked if I could leave my name, Charles, my contact details, and I asked if I could leave some prices for ink. But I did say to you at the time, Matt, I promised not to do your head in. It's been a while. Yeah, I think because at the time, I'm sure you said you were using Staples, and then you gave me the Canon printer, the Brother, and the Samsung. Yeah. So you still got the Brother. Would I be okay to leave my details and my prices again? Would that be okay with you? Yeah. Hang on, bear with me 2 seconds. So, Matt, am I coming through okay on the phone, or is it crackly? Look, give me 2 seconds, mate. Let me just call you back, because I got to be honest with you, mate. I'm trying to. All I'm hearing is at the end of every sentence you're saying. Give me 2 seconds, mate. I'll call you straight back. Cheers, mate. That's better.
Hello?
Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you, yeah, what can I do for you, sir?
Oh, is that Matt still?
Hang on, I'll get him.
Oh, cheers.
Hello?
Hi, Matt, it's Charles.
Oh, hi, Tyson.
Could you hear me when I was speaking? Could you hear me okay when I was speaking? Because
Well, cutting out a little bit, yeah.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I could barely hear anything you were saying, and it was like really robotic, and it was crackly, and I was cracking on because I didn't want to like say anything, but it got to a point where I couldn't even hear anything you were saying, and I was hoping for the best. So I was speaking, and I was just hoping that I was asking questions. And I was just hoping that you were giving me the answers. Sorry, mate.
I ordered some last week.
Yeah, do you know what? I had a fit. Do you know what? I thought you said that you were about to order something. I was like, I got to end this call and start again.
Last week I got a couple of Samsungs.
And the brother.
It's a Canon.
Yeah, yeah. I did ask if I could leave an email again. Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So the mtr83@hotmail.com. So quote for the Samsung, the one I did last time. Have you still got the brother one as well?
Still got the brother and the Canon.
And the Canon, perfect. Anything else or just those three still?
Just three still, yeah.
Perfect. And you're still using Staples, I think, maybe? Because
yeah, it's all the other day, yeah. Staples.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because I put it on my notes. I just wanted to make sure that nothing had changed. So what I'll do then, Matt, if it's okay, mate, I'll send you an email. I'll put my name, Charles, my company details, my prices, and my delivery.
Yeah.
I haven't called. It's really weird, actually. A couple of next 5 calls are going to be weird because I actually called on the 26th of the 10th, 2020, exactly 2 years ago. It's kind of very rare it works out like that, like exactly the day 2 years later or a year later, whatever. But I haven't spoken to you for 2 years, so I really want to keep you rest assured that clearly I'm not hassling you, badgering you, pestering you. That's not the way I do business.
Right.
But
I'll have to print it off and stick it up somewhere so I don't forget.
yeah, I appreciate that.
I remember 2 years ago, but I remember what was thinking,
Yeah, well, the thing is, I just spoke to somebody then. She hadn't spoke to me since June 2019, which was 3.5 years ago. It doesn't feel like it, but bloody hell, yeah, it's time's flying. But she did actually remember me as well. But the interesting thing for me is with my business, I just wait for people to come back to me. But at some point, like I just spoke to another guys, and it's like I sell printers as well. I'm a limited company, and then and the conversation it took a turn because it was kind of like I said, oh, can I quote for the ink and everything? And by the way, I sell printers. He's like, oh, you know, we have now a conversation about printer. You know, that we're looking for a gas analyzer printer or a brake test or whatever. The printer's gone down. What would you recommend? So the conversation might not just be about ink in the future. It could also be about, you know, what printer would you recommend? You know, so it's interesting. But I'll send you the email. It's still Matt with 1 T. Is that right?
Yeah,
perfect. I'll send it over now, mate. I'll put my name, Charles, on it. I appreciate your time. And next time you're looking, just like you said, if you would print me out. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Matt. Speak to you a bit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. What is going on with these adverts today?
Aquafresh is launching their new line of toothpastes, which is made up of 97% naturally derived ingredients. The new range is called Naturals, and they come in fantastic flavours, mint clean and herbal fresh.
Hi Stevie, it's gone off again. Like, I don't even know what the hell to say, because you're coming in and doing something, and it's obviously working, whatever you're doing, but then it's just stopping again. It's weird. Do you know what, actually, 2 seconds. Yeah, I just changed it from YouTube to Netflix and it's still not working. Yeah, weird as hell, man. Weird as hell. I don't know, just leave it for today. I might come back with the kids later, I might not, but it's not really going to affect them. Maybe give me a shout in the morning or have a look yourself. Speak to you a bit. Oh, let's have a chat about it in the morning. Yeah, it's just saying on the Xbox. Sorry, couldn't connect to YouTube. Sorry, wired it in the back of the Xbox. Excuse me. Yeah, let's just try it in the morning. We'll speak tomorrow.